It's Friday and welcome to PK Radio. My name is Emmanuel Kwesi Mensah. This is your most authoritative station for your education and personal development. If you've been following us for a while, you would know that you've been treating a lot of things on our station, and we've been looking at temperament in the past weeks. But from last week, we started the personality disorder strain, and we are going to take that walk. It's going to be a 2 or 3 weeks walk. And we pray at the end of the day, most of us, even all of us, will get educated and will get ourselves abreast with what personality disorders are and how we can treat people with personality disorders and approach the kind of help that we need to get for these people, because it is a disorder. It's a mental problem. Last week, we started with what it is or what they are. I mean, the personality disorders. And we looked at the causes, we looked at some of the symptoms, we looked at some of the clusters that we have. We have 3 clusters. And we promised ourselves to delve deep into the clusters this week. And so that's what we're here for today. And so without wasting my time, let's launch straight into it and look at the cluster that we have and the types that we have under these clusters. So we're going to start with the cluster A. And if you recall, last week we said that the cluster A disorders are characterized by odd, eccentric thinking or behavior. And they include the paranoid, the schizoid, and the schizotypal personality disorders. And so we're going to start with the paranoid personality disorder. So these things characterize people who have paranoid personality disorders. 1, pervasive distrust and suspicion of others and their motives. Unjustified belief that others are trying to harm or deceive them. Unjustified suspicion of the loyalty or trustworthiness of others. Hesitancy to confide in others due to unreasonable fear that others may use the information against them. Perception of innocent remarks or non-threatening situations as personal insult or attacks. Angry or hostile reaction to perceived slight or insult. Tendency to hold grudges. Unjustified recurrent suspicion that spouse or sexual partner is unfaithful. So these are things that characterize the paranoid personality disorders. So someone having a paranoid personality disorder, most of the times we call it you are being paranoia or paranoid. Yes, they are people who have pervasive distrust and suspicion of others and their motives. They are always angry and hostile towards slides. When you want to take a slide at them or you insult them, they get angry easily. They have the tendency to hold grudges, and they always have unjustified and a recurrent suspicion that their spouses or sexual partners are unfaithful. So if you are in a relationship with such a person who is suffering from a paranoid personality disorder, remember, it's not them. It is a disorder. That's not their chemical makeup. It's a disorder. It's just something that they chose to be. It's a disorder. We want to be clear on that. This is a disorder that needs correction, that needs medical attention, that needs psychiatric intervention or therapy. And so if you are in a relationship, you've married to such a person, definitely you're going to see some of these things. If not every day, most of the times. The second one that we're going to treat under the cluster A is the schizoid personality disorder. And these are the things that characterizes the schizoid. 1, lack of interest in social or personal relationships, preferring to be alone. Limited range of emotional expression. Inability to take pleasure in most activities. Inability to pick up normal social cues. appearance of being cold or indifferent to others, little or no interest in having sex with another person. So imagine you are married to such a person, or a person suffering from schizoid personality disorder, and you're not getting sex from the person. Most of the times we feel or think that because our partners, I'm talking about the married couples, are not giving us sex, they are getting it somewhere. Perhaps your partner is going through or suffering from a schizoid personality disorder. We don't take the pain to get to know what they are going through or what is wrong with them. We just conclude that they are having extramarital affairs with other people. That's why they are not interested in what we're doing. But if you listened well, such people, they have limited range of emotional expression. They are not able to take pleasure in most activities. So they don't find the sex pleasurable because of the disorder, because of what they are going through, because of what they are suffering from. And so most of the times, let's look out for some of these cues. Let's examine, let's observe our people, our partners, our loved ones more, so that we can be sure that, oh, this is what's wrong with our partner, what is going on. So maybe I may have to propose we meeting a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a specialist to be able to correct that. When we know some of these things, it's better places at an advantageous position to getting our partners out of these worrying situations. And at the end of the day, we'll get the best for ourselves. The last one under the cluster A is the schizotypal personality disorder. And these are what characterizes such people with such a disorder. Peculiar dress, thinking, beliefs, speech, or behavior. So they have some peculiar dress that they wear, peculiar thinking, peculiar beliefs. They have beliefs that would even make you surprised, like, why do you believe in that? That is them. They have odd perceptual experiences, such as hearing a voice whisper your name. They have flat emotions or inappropriate emotional responses. You're always not going to get a better response if that's what you want from them, a better emotional response from them. You're not going to get it. They have social anxiety and a lack of discomfort with close relations. So social anxiety and a lack of or discomfort with close relationships or close relations. So they're always fearful, they're always afraid, and they lack comfort. Their relationships are always filled with fear and discomfort, and they don't really want to get close to people because they fear. They have indifferent, inappropriate, or suspicious response to others. When you ask them questions, when they have to respond to things, how they respond to your questions or whatever you ask them to do, always indifferent. They're always inappropriate. They're always filled with a lot of suspicions. And such people, when we get close to them, when we come into contact with them, we may think or feel that, oh, Charlie, this person, my wife, Charlie, my husband, my man, my woman, my friend, my brother, my mother, anyone at all, we may feel that they don't like people. It's not them, it's the disorder that they are suffering from, or it's the mental problem that they are being diagnosed with. The next one that we can characterize them with is the magical thinking. So they believe that they can influence people and events with their thoughts. You see, they think that how someone is acting is because of what they are thinking in their head. That I wish, or I really want this thing to happen, and perhaps if it happens, they think that it's them having that magical thinking to be able to influence events and thoughts of other people. the belief that certain casual incidents or events have hidden messages meant only for them, right? And these are things that characterizes the schizotypal personality disorders. And we've also looked at the schizoid and the paranoid. These are what we can find under cluster A, personality disorders. We really have to look within ourselves. The fact that you are suffering from this doesn't make you unconscious.
No battery, please charge.
These are the things that characterizes people with such disorders, as I've said already. And so we shouldn't look out for mistakes in people. We should observe them, and having a better understanding of how these disorders manifest themselves, we can look in ourselves to know if we are going through any of these, or observe our partners, our loved ones, our friends, our siblings, our parents, to know if any of them having exhibited some of these things we talked about, being the behaviors that they exhibit. We will stand in a better position to know what kind of help that we would seek for them. And so let's not judge anybody. Let's not resort to prejudices. Let's not label people. But when we observe them and we know that there is something wrong with them, with their thoughts, with how they behave, with how they go about their things, let's seek help for these people. Let's get help for them. Because at the end of the day, we are the ones going to interact with such people. And so if we don't start a charity at home or from home, I don't know where else we can start it at. And so let's be in the knowing, of some of these things, so that at the end of the day, we can live peaceably. And that's the goal, living happy and peaceably with our partners, our loved ones, our siblings, our parents, our friends, and whoever that we come in contact with. And so these are the things that we want to treat today. So the cluster A for today, then we're going to do the cluster B next week, God willing. And the cluster B is a packed one. And I know most of us will be interested in that, because that has a lot of things that we talked about. So antisocial personality disorders and the narcissistic personality disorders are all in the cluster B. And so next week, God willing, we're going to treat the cluster B. Until then, be good, be great, have a happy Friday and a lovely weekend. God bless you.